We're in probably one of the most unprecedented football seasons that we've had. This year, more than ever, rookies getting mentorship from veteran players is important. We've got Dak Prescott and Saquon Barkley, two former NFL Pepsi Rookie of the Year winners, together with 2020 standout rookies Chase Claypool, Clyde-Edwards Helaire, and Trevon Diggs for an honest conversation about navigating some of these uncharted waters. And gentlemen, appreciate you joining us here. Dak, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Things hit me fast, and I'd say my rookie year was pretty good. But I think it goes back to probably OTAs and minicamp, and we were doing pat and go. It was one of my probably first practices, maybe first week or so, maybe second, but we're doing pat and go, and obviously my first chance to sort of throw it to Dez Bryant, to Jason Witten, and some of these guys that I've been watching since I was a kid, since I was a fan. And so now Jason Witten's up, and as I said, I mean, I've been watching Jason Witten play as long as I've been watching football. So my favorite tight end, being a Cowboys fan, it was a big moment, I guess. So I get the ball, Jason Witten's running down the field. I mean, it's 30 yards or so. Everybody knows the pregame pat and go, that just there to look good. And I throw the ball, and Jason Witten sticks his arms out, and the ball probably goes 2 inches over his fingertips. And I mean, all they had to do was stretch him out just a little bit more. And I'm like, at that point, I'm confused. I throw my hands up, like, then not really understanding like why you didn't catch that ball. And so the next time he comes back around, he goes, "Hey, Rook, hit me in my hands. I shouldn't have to stretch for it, and I shouldn't have to stop running." And so that for me, that was just a moment of the standard of what it takes to make it in the NFL and what it takes to stay in the NFL. And it's a small margin of error. You've got to be perfect, whether it's a quarterback throwing the ball in pat and go, or whether it's receivers or running backs or DBs watching film. Whatever you do, you have to do it with a purpose and be very intentional in doing it. So it was a big moment for me.
Hold up now, Saquon, did anybody pledge you in pat and go, probably with no pads, by saying you got to put did you go up to your quarterback and say, "Eli, you got to put it right on me"? Or did Eli say, "Hey, you got to stretch out"? I mean, come on. It sounds like Witten was hazing him a little bit.
Definitely was hazing him a little bit. But I would say for me, that was kind of Eli would be my welcome too. Just one, when I walked into the locker room and I saw Eli. I'm from the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. To be able to play with a guy like that, I remember we was in practice and they were just trying to disguise the blitz, and I'm over here trying to figure out like who my guy is, and Eli's telling me who I got to go block before I can actually figure out the concept and see the safety rotation and be able to go to my guy. He was just so far ahead of the game, and every single day he came in with a purpose. No matter if it was win, loss, draw, he came in with a mindset that he's gonna get better every single day, and that's something that I kind of took note of and try to apply to my game still.
We already asked Saquon and Dak about their welcome to the NFL moment. Have you had yours yet, do you think? And if so, what was it?
I'll say fall camp. Frank Clark, man, he missed. I want to say like the first 2 weeks of training camp, and I didn't know he snuck out to practice one of those days, and I was just kind of cruising 7-on-7, ran a little flat route, and Frank dropped from his DN spot and lit me up on the sideline. So Coach Reed and everybody talked about it. It was all in the newspaper and everybody. It was a good little hit. So ultimately, I'll say that was my welcome to the NFL moment.
All right, Trevon, what was yours? We got Dak to verify it, so you better come clean.
My welcome to the NFL moment. It's actually with Dak. It was like we was going through camp in the beginning.
I figured.
I just I couldn't pick his ball. I was getting so mad I couldn't pick the ball. Like I would be so close, but I just couldn't get it. I'm like, when you gonna throw me one? He's like, you gotta earn those. So he kept doing a couple practices went by, and then we had like a invert call, and I finally picked it. And then he got back in the locker room. He said, "You earned that one." So that was my welcome to the NFL moment.
He had nothing for you on the field, Dak? He waited to the locker room?
Yeah, no, he was being a pest, just asking me for an interception, like I'm just gonna throw him one or something all training camp long. So he finally earned his, and he was a headache in training camp, but it's paying off, and everybody's seeing it now on that field.
Picked off, Diggs, his second of the game.
All right, what about you, Chase?
Playing the Ravens, during the week we were prepping with how they force fumbles and how they lead the league in forced fumbles. So we were prepping that throughout practice every single day, emphasize ball security. And, I already had a couple fumbles prior, but I never lost one. So I knew I had to be on top of my game. The fourth play of the game, the first play that I was in, I caught a slant route and I was running, and Marcus Peters stripped the ball from me, and I had lost that ball. That was the first play that I was in, and because it was so early, it wasn't too tough to overcome, but I just couldn't believe that what we were emphasizing all week happened the first play that I was in. We played Dallas. I was running through the middle. I got tackled, and the whole sideline was like, strip the ball, strip the ball. He fumbles all the time. So now it sticks with me for a little bit.
Trevon, was that in the scouting report?
Yeah, it was a scouting. That was on the scouting report. We always want to get the ball from everybody, so that was on it.
See, now you know you're in the book, Chase.
I know.
So just on top of learning playbooks and learning people's names and learning coaches and trainers, you guys are having to go through all of these different protocols. What is that like going through on top of just the normal pressures of adjusting to the NFL?
Yeah, I think for the rookies, honestly, it wasn't as bad as it was for maybe some of the vets who had gotten into this routine of doing things year after year, and then all of a sudden you have this crazy year where things change up. So the COVID for me is all I know in terms of life in the NFL. So, I've never played in front of a sold-out crowd in the NFL. I've never not had to take a test one of these days during the NFL season. So this is all I know. So it really isn't much of a change for me. I'm just interested to see how it is after the COVID and if that transition will be kind of difficult to go through.
So, Clyde, you play the same position as Saquon. I'm sure you watched him. A lot of your skill set was kind of compared to his when you were coming out. What was it like, kind of seeing a player like Saquon do his thing and coming to the NFL, like, wow, he's another running back. Maybe what can I learn from him? And even if you guys did not have that direct relationship.
My biggest thing as a running back is being able to watch different people and pull game. And Saquon was a big part of that, especially, being in high school and pretty much watching his highlights, getting in trouble in class, watching his highlights and just pretty much trying to do things to pretty much mimic watching him do his thing in the league. Ultimately just kind of fueled a fire in me and made me want to get there. One of the biggest games of my life, here's Saquon, tweeting about me. So that was something that I just thought was, special for me. So at that point I just knew everything was full speed ahead and I'll be able to do the things that I can if I just put my mind to it.
Saquon, when you hear that, what kind of goes through your head?
It means a lot. It shows that the work that I put in that people took notice, and now how well he's playing, he's going to have the same impact on some of the guys coming up in college right now. And I remember that game; he was going crazy. I remember I was watching. I was like, man, this kid is going to be special. So I definitely show some love with a tweet there. But that's what it's all about. Obviously, you play in the NFL, but you're a fan of other people's game. You appreciate other people's game. You watch their tape and try to take some of their game and add to yours. And hopefully, I can continue to do that for other younger backs coming up. And like I said, he will be able to do the same too.
I want to start with you and Dak. Follow up. You guys have both sustained season-ending injuries. From what you're kind of going through dealing with this, what is some advice you could give to these young guys, or to all rookies, I should say?
Don't take anything for granted, anything that you're doing for granted, whether it's a walkthrough or whether it's for us, the Stay program, Trevon, whatever it may be, no matter how big it is or no matter how small it is, don't take it for granted because it's a blessing. As my career, just in a snapshot, I've been able to play every level of my career because the guy in front of me has gotten injured. So I know what it means to be ready, to stay ready in case a guy gets injured in front of you. But now to be that guy that's injured for the first time in my career and missing the rest of the season, it's different, it's tough. But for me, as I talk about the mental capacity, for me it's about creating and making small victories. So each and every day when I wake up and I go in for rehab, it's about for me, seeing my leg or seeing my body do something that it didn't do the day before, or creating a feeling that I didn't have the day before. So I know that I'm continuing to get better, and that at the end of the day, I know my team needs me, and I know that they need me now for support, but they'll need me again later. So it's about helping them whichever way that I can and however I can, but it's about being right mentally and then counting those small victories.
Kind of piggybacking off what he said, one, I would say invest in your body. There's some injuries that you can't control, but there are also some injuries that you can control. So invest in your bodies, whether it's strength training, whether it's nutrition, try to focus on all the little things that you can do. Whether it's coming in early, and after you're done watching film, go into that training room and work on your body just a little bit extra. But like he said, don't take it for granted, man. It sucks being on the couch, watching Sunday, watching your guys out there balling, and you're not out there with them. It literally hurts you to the core. I can't sleep at night, to be completely honest, because I think so much about how much I miss this sport. And this was my first time in my life. I got injured a little last year, but this is like the first time in my life where football was taken away from me. So enjoy it. But if you ever do face adversity like this, where you do get injured, like he said, it's those small wins. Those small wins every single day that you come in. I'm focused on the same stuff. It's seeing my leg do something different that I wasn't able to do previous, and continue to have that mindset, that competitive nature that you have on a football field, and taking that into your rehab and take that into recovery and your treatment, and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's what I would say. Enjoy your time you have, because at one point, no matter what, whether it's injury or it's not, this game's gonna be taken away from you, and that has made me realize it.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest thing that I try to do when I came in here was talk to the veterans and ask them how they take care of their body. And I talked to James Conner, who told me how much he spends on a chef and massage therapist, acupuncture, all this stuff. And as a rookie, not having to ever have spent that type of money, it was kind of alarming. But he just told me that it's an investment. You get what you put in. So. I bit the bullet, and I started spending this money on the massage people and the chef and all this stuff. And he's right. The more I put into it, the more I get out of it. So it hurts to see my monthly payments come out my card, but it's worth it for sure.
This offseason also is one of real player involvement with social justice. And Dak, you were very profound with some of your tweets and some of the things you said. The way you felt to come out and say something and do something and really lead, in some of the social justice efforts. What about, what triggered you to do that, and what impact do you think it had? And everybody else kind of follow up, please.
Yeah, I was just to ends meet with the whole deal. The fact that it's right versus wrong. It's not a black versus white deal. It's not to that. It's right versus wrong. And a lot of the things that we're seeing was wrong. Obviously, George Floyd, and we can go on and name plenty of other names. For me, it was just about being a leader, being able to step up, the voices in my head, not quieting them and not silencing them, but allowing them to come out and say, hey, this is wrong, we need right, and I want to be one of the beginners or one of the people starting this to make things right, and to make things right within our police systems, to get the corruptness out and start from within, and to create a program that we can be proud of, that we have police in our city, and that we have a system that we're proud of as Americans, regardless of our color, regardless where we're from.
That voice that you hear in your head, you realize that, and especially when you play the sport that you love, and you realize how much attention you bring to yourself, and how many people idolize you, you're kind of put in a position where you can make a change by your voice. You can have an impact. And something that my parents taught me is never be scared to speak up. If you ever put in a position, I feel like God has blessed not only myself, but all of us on this call to be in a position where we can have change and use your voice. It's not going to happen in one day, but it got to start by taking a step. And that for me, I feel like it's about what we're doing in the Giants for my team is giving back to the community, finding ways where we go through kind of each borough in New Jersey and interact with, whether it's with poverty, whether it was homelessness, whether with police brutality, are all kind of areas we have that we kind of just focus on, that we take our team of teams, what we call it, and try to have impact. And we know we're not going to make that change in one day, and we know it's not going to just happen in one day, but it starts that little step and realizing that you have a voice, you can make an impact and use your voice.
Yeah, like just seeing the leaders on our team, you know, like as far as our meetings and things like that, it's leaders that spoke up. You know, it's a lot of people that spoke up, and just seeing them and watching them speak up about something, you know, it made me feel like I could use my platform as well to speak up and, you know, just, you know, try to affect somebody. If you're not affecting everybody, at least affect somebody and, you know, help them. And just seeing them, how the leaders were going about that, it made me, you know, want to speak up as well.
Saquon, what about that? As a rookie, you know, a lot of times you don't feel comfortable necessarily taking a lead, or again, in this kind of era, I don't know if people feel pressured to do something with social justice or to pick a cause, but what would you tell a young person? Like, let's say Trevon came to you and was just like, hey man, I want to say something, but it's not really my place. I'm not an established star on my team like a Dak or you know, Amari Cooper, you know, how should I handle this? What advice would you give him?
Don't just go and tweet or speak off of emotions. Go, do your research, educate yourself on the situation, educate yourself. That's what I'm continuing trying to do, is to continue to educate myself on the situations that are going on in this world, so that when you go and you do speak up, you can speak with conviction. It's not just off emotions. You got your research behind you and you can back it up.
I talked a little bit about the pandemic and some of the protocols that you have to go through, but just kind of real world. Not necessarily on the field, all the testing you have to go through, but just real world, how you guys are staying out of harm's way. I mean, what are some of the things you're doing? Are you just going home and playing video games when you're done with practice?
I mess with my cars, man. I have some old cars I mess with, and other than that, I really don't play games that much. But ultimately, I mess with my cars. I have my little dog, little micro mini pit bull dog thing I have, and I clown around with him. But other than that, I just chill.
Micro mini pit bull? What is a micro mini pit bull?
Nah, he's a Frenchie, an English bulldog, and a pit bull mix all together.
Okay,
yeah, he's pretty cool. He has
all
an
right.
Instagram. He has an Instagram. You know, at Deuce the Micro Bully if you want to go check him out. He's pretty clean.
You might get a follow from my dogs, so we'll see. Yeah, I've got three. I've got a Frenchie and two pit bulls. So we'll give Deuce a follow.
Yeah, we need that, man. We need that.
Anybody else with the pets with the IG handles? We can go ahead and get out there.
I got a dog, but I don't got no IG handle with my dog.
Saquon, he needs IG now. Come on.
You got to get him out the commercial.
He needs to stop messing in my backyard. That's what he needs to stop doing.
Oh yeah, that's a veteran word of wisdom, and that's why I'm going to give Saquon and Dak the last calls here. And Saquon, we'll start with you. Just some words of wisdom for these guys and any of the other rookies as they continue through the season and continue through their careers.
Keep your head on straight. You're here for a reason. The success that you're having is happening for a reason. And all the hard work that you put into, continue to have that. Because after this year, it's what you did for me now. And when you have this successful season like you guys are going to have and continue to have, then next year you got to do it again. The next year you got to continue to do it again. And the year after that. So continue to have that mindset, that work ethic, surround the right people in your life. There's going to be a lot of people that try to come in for the wrong reasons. So I would say keep your head on straight, keep the faith, and keep balling. Respect all y'all games, for real.
That's hard to follow there, Saquon. But, I mean, just as he said, it's all about what you do now. Making sure you're ice tub and cold tub and doing all that. Because, I mean, in this league, it's all about durability, right? That's the most important thing is being able to go out there and be on the field to help your teammates. So I wish you guys all the best. Whoever, if it's one of you guys that bring home the Pepsi Rookie of the Year, just to know that's only the start. But just to keep going. Trevon, you know, I'm on you. You don't got anywhere to go, but wish you other two lots of success throughout y'all's career, except when y'all play me.
Appreciate that.